Hi, my name is Marta and I'm here to tell you my story of TDS. 153 kilometers with more than 9,000 meters of elevation gain. So it wasn't easy, but it was fun. And I'm more than happy to have a chance to share my story with you. I know, my regular viewers that are Polish may ask, why are you speaking English? So I figured as TDS and UTMB is such an international event, it will be a great chance to get to more people and also to share my experiences with the international, so to say, audience. I hope you don't mind and we will just share these beautiful, beautiful memories of TDS together. So let's buckle up and let's start. But before we start, please subscribe and give me a like because it supports me so much and it gives me so much strength to carry on and just do what I do, share my experiences and my love for trail running. So my name is Marta and I'm Polish. I live in the south part of my country and I live in the mountains. I feel very lucky to have decided actually to change my entire life, leave everything behind because I used to work in the capital city in IT. Almost killed me, literally. I decided to start fresh in the mountains from nothing. I've been living here near Krynica Zdrój. It's in the Beskid Mountains. It's very, very beautiful and this is my part of the world that I love. And even though I loved every second spent in Chamonix, I think this is my piece of heaven that I enjoy. I'm a running coach. Now I'm in the middle of, let's say, transitioning from my full-time job as a marketing specialist. So I decided that this is the very best time to start and do things that I actually, let's say, consider as satisfying and that also, let's say, build my view of the world. So now that's my situation and my channel is about trail running, how to start, how to become better, maybe not faster because this is not my incentive. My incentive is rather to enjoy, to be healthy and to be safe in the mountains. That's all I do here and I'm very happy that you joined me here today because the introduction is over and we are going to Courmayeur. We're in Italy and it's 9ish, let's say 9:30 p.m. It's Monday and TDS is just about to begin. TDS is a race that I've been dreaming of for a long, long time. And even though it is not one of the three most popular ones connected with UTMB, because this is not UTMB, CCC, OCC, but TDS is, I call it a certain introvert race because it happens before everything is going to get very busy. It happens at midnight on Monday. So I have a lot of time and it was pretty calm to collect my bib in Chamonix and get to Courmayeur. So everything was very, let's say, calm, even though my race, so TDS, had around 2,000 runners. So it became very hectic just after the start. You had to choose if you want to take the bus to Courmayeur, and I did. I was in Le Chouche, I'm sorry. I jumped on the bus at 9 and around 9:30 p.m. I was in Courmayeur. And I was very surprised because there was no facilities ready for the runners. So it was a little bit cold. So I put things that I considered not very important, long pants and all the warm layers that I had in my backpack that were mandatory equipment. And I did doubt that it was necessary, but sorry, my mistake. So it was a little bit cold and actually I spent over 2 hours, around 2 hours, just sleeping on a bench in the park. So mind it when you think about TDS that I'm not sure if I'm going to do it again, use the bus, because I spent so many hours waiting for the race to start, and when it was about to start I was in a kind of zombie mode. I'm very happy that it didn't rain, because then it would be a problem, but that's reality. Let's say that I have certain conclusions for next year. So the race started at midnight, I think 10 minutes to midnight, and it was a buzz. It was so hectic, that so crowded that actually the town couldn't squeeze so many runners. So for the very first part, let's say for the first kilometer, I barely ran. I mostly walked. So I wasn't really frustrated, but since I think I started as 1,200, 300, so I was in the back. So it was kind of frustrating when I did move on, that so many people that were supposed to be in the rear, and they didn't really have an ability to pace themselves, that they were very, very strong going up, but then they were done after like 3, 4, 5, 6 kilometers, and when it came to going down, they were blocking. So if you're going to take part in TDS, just give yourself 4 or 5 hours. If you're let's say if you're not in elite and in the front of the first group, that it will take time to pace yourself and to have some space. This is just the way it is. Basically, the night went very smoothly. It wasn't cold or hot. It was like in the middle, but I did have my long pants, and I'm happy about that, because it became very, very windy. But I was moving forward. I was happy about my pace. And suddenly I had a problem. So you have certain things in life that you cannot control. And for a woman, it is the menstrual cycle. So I don't control when my period is. And my period decided this is a perfect opportunity to just become real. So I started to feel very bad stomach ache. And it hurt so much that I couldn't actually focus on where I was going. So I fell down, but it wasn't anything serious. I'm like, okay, nobody was looking, I just go. So everything was fine, but it did hurt. So I decided that I'm not going to, let's say, let this situation that I cannot control me. So I'm like, okay, let's get to the to the point of Saint Bernard. That was the passo. I don't know how to say that in French, I'm sorry, and in English, so I'm not a polyglot. But the thing is that I decided to think as a task. So how to minimize the pain and how to move on. I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to get to the finish line as quickly as I thought that I would, but I will still get there. So I was hopeful, but I knew that I needed a plan. So I gave myself time at each aid station, and I really appreciated the thing that the toilets solely for women and solely for men, they were very clean, and they had the sanitary aid kit, meaning that even though I was really surprised of the situation, I could handle it. So kudos for that, I really appreciate it. The very first, let's say, 50 kilometers were smooth in my mind and in my, let's say, physical state, because legs were good, the views weren't still there, even though the sun was rising and it became very, very, very beautiful. But the night went smoothly, I was very focused, and despite the pain, I'm like, okay, let's just move on. So I got to the very first point where I met with my partner, Szymon, in Saint Maurice. And I knew that after that, it was after 50 kilometers, there was supposed to be one of the longest and the most tiring uphill. I was very positive because I did recon this part of the race. So I was positive because I knew it and I knew how to pace myself. And I was shocked that despite really 1/3 of the race, so many people were dying actually when I was moving forward. And I was very strong then. And I saw people that I couldn't handle heat, couldn't handle exhaustion, couldn't handle the mundane of going up. Like it was 10 kilometers and over 1,800 meters of elevation gain. So it was a lot. Like you can get bored, and you have so many false summits, peaks, that you're like, come on, when it's gonna finish? I saw, I don't know how many people pass, but I would say that around 30, 40, lying, just dying. So don't do it. I know that there are so many things that can go wrong, and your goal is to get to the aid station, because these mountains, the Alps and any high mountains, they're super dangerous, and you don't have to have rain or snow to be in danger, because the heat is killing you. So your goal is to get to the aid station. And I knew the uphill, but I didn't know the downhill. And downhill was extremely technical. You have the, I don't know, the I forgot the English word, but actually it was so steep that you did have certain, let's say, things to make it easier to climb down, so it wasn't running, but the views were outstanding. I couldn't believe my eyes when we were getting to La Guitas. I had one aid station in between. I ate so much watermelon. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was easy to fuel during the race because the aid stations were full of products that I'm used to it, because it was NAC products, and also all the fresh fruit, snacks, salty things, cheese, and everything was local. So it was let's say it was produced in France or somewhere very near, and everything was fine, connected to my stomach, even though I did feel the heat plus the period. You cannot deny it has influence on you as a runner and also as a person to just carry on. When I was getting to La Guitas, felt awful pain in my big toe, in the, on the left foot. And I'm like, oh no. So I got to the aid station and I'm like, oh, it doesn't look very nice. But I had so many, how do you call this, things that you put on a wound, and I was fine. I'm like, okay, always think about a problem as a given task. So, okay, so when I was getting to the aid station, okay, firstly, I go to the bathroom. Then I take care of the toe. But in the meantime, I eat watermelon and I put some fresh water and also NAC drinks. Oh, I love this. And I normally run on NAC, and it was such a great thing that there was no isotonic that I didn't know. It was something that I have been running on for months. So I'm like, just fuel up. So it was great. But when I left La Guitas, the heat was awful. I think it was something like 3 or 4 p.m. The road was changed due to the possibility of a storm. So we were running through endless, how do you call these? Areas with all the grass and everything. There was no shadow at all, and there was a lot of roads, so it was hot, it was boring, and I just wanted to die. Of course, even though I had 3 flasks, I ran out of water very quickly. Like, I think after 7 or 8 kilometers it was so hot, and I really appreciate that the volunteers did some extra work and they handled us water wherever they could. So if there was a water fountain, they created, let's say, a temporary aid station, and it was great. But when I was getting to the next aid station, when I was supposed to meet with Szymon, I was done. I was done with my period, with heat, and with my quads that were blocked. I couldn't go down in a normal pace. I was jogging, and it was awful. And it wasn't like it hurts, because it was like, I mean, muscles that are tired hurt, but it was blocked. Like my quads were not cooperating at all. And I remember getting to 94 kilometer where the aid station was, and I'm like, so many people were passing me. I'm like, okay, so that's my low point, and I need to handle this. And I saw a girl that was trying to pass me. I'm like, just go, that's not my day. And she started speaking Polish, and I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, so if you're having a bad day, it's actually a very good thing, because I'm also having a bad day, so let's go together. Her name is Justyna. I'm super happy that the worst case scenario of my period, heat and everything happened, and I could meet her, because we were just about to enter the second night. But before that, we changed. I took some time on the station also to take care of all the wounds that I have on my skin because of the heat inside my shorts and everything. So it wasn't pleasant, but this is life and this is trail running, so you have to handle this. And we entered the second night. It became dark very quickly, but it was extremely hot. We couldn't actually breathe. There was so little oxygen in the air. I'm like, how we are going to do the steepest uphill? I have no clue. But we were going up. It became steeper and steeper, and to be honest, I was shocked. So many people were sleeping next to the trail, and I think this is dangerous. And I think if you want to sleep, and I know that, believe me, I know the exhaustion. You're going like 20 hours plus and you're exhausted, but I think that because of my safety as a runner, I'm like, okay, I'm turning back to the aid station, or I push myself for my own safety. So, and I also think that mentally, if you lie down, you're done. So we even didn't speak with Justyna about it. We are like, to the next aid station, to the next aid station. That's all that matter. And eat and drink. And it was so fun later during the night. Storm happened when we were on the very top of the mountain. So it was interesting, but we did survive. And I'm so thankful for Justyna that didn't panic. She was like checking certain points to move on. And this is really inspiring, to be just in a team, that you have the same energies and you just, have a certain task and you just move on. But it wasn't easy. When we got to La Signal, we were mind-fucked because we thought that we were going in circles. The road was so exhausting that we thought that we were going all around all the time, and the peak, the summit, wasn't closer. So I was done, but I'm like, okay, we're here, we need to get to Le Contamine on the 123rd kilometer where Szymon was. I'm like, we need to get there. And believe me, going down to Le Contamine was a nightmare. It was extremely steep, extremely uncomfortable. In the very, let's say, it was very, how to say that, foresty, with so many loosened woods and rocks and mud. And I'm like, it is so steep. I'm like, everybody was passing me. I was so done with the exhaustion, and that we still have so many kilometers to go. We got to Le Contamine and it was raining as crazy, so we were soaked. I changed my shoes to Hoka Tecton X3 I actually ran in Hoka Speed Goat first and then in Challenger 8. So I needed more cushion and I needed the shoe to be, let's say, helping me more because I'm tired. But going out from Le Contamine, I was in a very good spirit because I know this uphill. Again, as you see, whenever I knew a certain part of the road, I'm doing it, I'm strong. But we got to Tricot and then we were going to call the, how is it called? I need to check. But when we were going, I knew that leaving Le Contamine, we had only 3 uphill. No worries, we can make it, even though I was exhausted awfully. But my mind started to shut down when we were doing the second uphill. And I told Justina that I am not standing straight. I was going left and right. I'm like, okay, I need to eat, lighten up my brain. And I think that it was the 30th hour, so I was awake for 55 hours plus. So for my brain, hey, let's finish this. But believe me, I was so exhausted. I was like, okay, we need to do this. I even, not for a second, did I doubt that we're going to make it, even though it was so hard and I was so tired. I'm like, no, because we have gone through so much and we were so brave and so in style. I'm like, no, we need to finish this. And the worst was the last uphill, because I actually lost seeing my sight. So I was looking, let's say, straight and everything was blurred, everything. The only thing that was okay were my hands. I'm like, okay, I see my hands, my shoes are blurred, everything was blurred, everything. And I told that to Justina. I'm like, I'm not feeling well. And she's like, okay, let's eat, let's drink, let's move on, even to the aid station. So we got to Bellevue, and then we were going very, the hill was very steep to Les Houches, and from Les Houches there was 7 kilometers to Chamonix. And we got to Les Houches and I'm like, okay, we have 7 kilometers of road, we can make it. And we made it. And I don't know how we made it. I don't know, honestly, because it was the toughest 4 hours, the last four hours. Actually, my brain was shutting down. And I'm so impressed that even not for a second, I'm like, I let it go. I was so focused, even though everything was like, don't do it. Like, my body was trying to save me from this pain and exhaustion. But we did get to Chamonix, and thank you, Justina, so much, because having a companion was also pushing me mentally. So it was a beautiful race. It was extremely technical, and it's totally different than UTMB. UTMB is very, let's say, I'm not saying easy. No. I'm saying the road is more runnable when it comes to going up and down. When it comes to TDS, it's more technical. It is dangerous in many ways, and it's a completely different sort of terrain. It is more wild. It is more like, hey, let's explore beautiful mountains, but they're not popular roads. So you have to keep it in mind, and I did love every second of it. Even though it was tough, I was ready for that. I didn't know 95 or 90% of the road, so it was an adventure for me. I am an explorer, a running explorer, and it was an adventure really for me. So that was a beautiful thing to do. Of course, I needed to be physically and mentally prepared, and I think that I was, and I'm really proud of myself. What I couldn't control, meaning my period, I think that I did handle correctly and I did finish. What I need to change are certain add-ons to my training, running training, and also my strength training to help me with my quads, because this is something that I did neglect, and I'm aware of that, and it was a very painful way to learn this, but this is a lesson and this is the way I treat it. To sum up, I hope that you liked my story. It is not the story of results. I would say that this is a story about running over results, because of course I wasn't the fastest. Of course I did have my bad moments, and I did spend 2 hours at the aid stations because I needed to, and I don't actually care, because it helped me to have a strong mind, strong body, and to move on. Because if you start doubting yourself, you are done. So I'm proud of myself, and I'm so getting back. So see you in 2026 in France, Chamonix, during TDS, because I did love that race. It was very demanding, it was very difficult, but beautiful, and one of the most beautiful views I've ever seen. So I'm actually doing it. I'm really doing it next year, and I hope I will make it faster, because I do have certain experience of this road now. So yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful adventure, and I hope that you will also have a chance to experience it, because it's so worth it. So thank you so much for being here with me, and see you somewhere running the trails. See ya.